The story starts with our protagonist who wielded his sword for over 100 years, reaching the pinnacle, but his death is near even after ascending human limits. But his only regret is that he lived being obsessed with the sword and didn't enjoy life. We now move on to a different scenario where a young boy is being severely bullied, and this white-haired monkey blames his mother and how because of her the clan is in ruin and he should consider himself lucky that they weren't kicked out. They are from the prestigious Tang family, but they have fallen because of the heavenly brilliance demon lord. Literally looks like a TikToker without any filters. They faced this guy when he came to take Tang Jiai. After fighting with all their might they managed to win, but as a result they had used all their resources, causing the clan to walk the path of downfall. Moving to our bullied boy, this white hair monkey is still acting almighty. As our boy tries to retaliate, this monkey becomes more aggressive. This is our boy's daily life after his mother attracted the attention of the pervert and ruined the clan, which resulted in harsh words directed towards his mother. After entering the house his mother is all worried, but our Chad tells her that everything is fine, but she knows that the other are bullying him. He tells her not to worry and rushes into his room. She asks him if he has eaten. He tells her he doesn't have an appetite. On the bed our Chad Yeon-myeong knows that it's not his mother's fault, but there's not really anyone he can complain to, and raising his voice will only cause retaliation like his father that got assassinated. If they leave the family there is no one who will protect them, and wishes if his father was still around. The next day this group of rubbish start beating Yeon-myeong. Just wait till he own them, I promise it's satisfying. As the intensity of the beating increases, the girl, let's call her Red Dog, takes out a set of needles and wants to test poisons on Yeon-myeong before the clan leader competition. Moving on to Ugly Gorilla, he sits on top of Yeon-myeong and holds him down as this ugly red dog starts her experiments and finds it fun that Yeon-myeong is suffering and his skin and reacting. After a few hours it starts raining and Yeon-myeong thinks that if he closes his eyes he would be free, but there would be no one to protect his mother, and thinks if he was but stronger he would have taken care of them, and his wish was to get strong enough to protect his mother. That's when Yeon-myeong notices a glowing sword, but he didn't realize that it was here all this time. For some reason this sword feels familiar to him. After getting a hold of it, Yeon-myeong realizes that it was his sword and he had trained for over 100 years, and showcases the ultimate sword he had created in his lifetime, but because he was so focused that even after reaching the pinnacle he can't stop his death and wishes that if he gets a second life he could live a normal life. As he remembers his memories from his past life with his ultimate sword, he merges both his memories from his past and present live. The next morning his mother tells him to not go as he was very injured yesterday, but Yeon-myeong assures him that he will be okay. The white-haired monkey thinks Yeon-myeong is avoiding them. The hypocrite Ugly Gorilla tells him that if his mother doesn't want to see him in a sorry state he will come here. The monkey has decided he will beat him thoroughly even if he comes today. Wait a few seconds till our Chad own them. Yeon-myeong is here and the red dog falls from the tree pretending to be cute, but Yeon-myeong doesn't make a reaction. The monkey starts mocking Yeon-myeong and asks him why he looks unharmed. Yeon-myeong tells him that much won't hurt him, calling him by his name, shocking this mutts. They think Yeon-myeong has gone mad and the gorilla is ready to release his frustration. That's when Yeon-myeong starts calling them by their names, which offends this rabid dog, so she thinks of killing him or doubling the poison dosage. As gorilla tries to attack, Yeon-myeong grabs his head and buries his head in the ground, shocking the pathetic retards. As the fat gorilla gets knocked down, they start panicking as Yeon-myeong approaches them and tells them with these pathetic skills they want to compete. White monkey thinks Yeon-myeong is acting differently and charges towards him. Instead he grabs onto his hand and literally breaks it into pieces. According to Yeon-myeong, with these skills the clan leader's position is pretty much decided. Inside the hidden poison hall, it's where the clan leader resided and major family decisions were made, but because the clan leader's position has been vacant for a long time it has become the council room for the elders. They are discussing about the participants of the clan leader's position and if the poison phoenix's son will participate, as he hasn't announced his participation yet. Moving on to Yeon-myeong, he is dragging the red dog by her hair and the elders thinks of excluding him as he is being bullied and hasn't shown any retaliation. As Yeon-myeong drags the dog, the third elder tells him that although he is the son of the previous patriarch they cannot let someone unskilled participate that can lower the competition's level. Even if he is the patriarch's son currently he is nothing but a burden to the family. That's when Yeon-myeong barges into the room and the third elder warns him if he understand what he is doing right now. While our Chad tells him that he is aware, silencing the courtroom. Then he shows the disfigured face of that red dog. What a Chad, he literally disfigured her face. Seeing this the elder is shocked and Yeon-myeong tells them that all this time he has suppressed himself but he has reached his limit so he won't endure it anymore. Two dogs are barking how he can harm someone that's going to participate in the clan leader's competition. Yeon-myeong tells them that he is aware of the clan's rules and fight between participants is allowed. The third elder asks him if he is saying that he will participate in the competition, so what if he does, old hag? Yeon-myeong asks if that enough and tells him that ugly gorilla is buried in the ground and he has followed the clan's rules and repaid kindness twofold and revenge tenfold. Since he has proven his qualifications, they can't stop him, but a few dogs can't stop about how he exploited the competition to exempt himself from serious crimes. But the third elder allows him to participate since he is so confident. He tells Yeon-myeong that he'd better win the competition or else he will bear the consequences. In the evening, his mother tells him why he is participating in the clan leaders competition. Yeon-myeong tells her that it's necessary, and seeing his firm face, his mother won't ask him how he learned those technique or how he overpowered those kids, but she wants to know if he is confident about being the clan leader, which he replies in a cute manner, making her cry as she is proud of him. Yeon-myeong wants to continue protecting his mother, and if anyone disrupts his peace he will eliminate them. A month has passed by and Yeon-myeong's uncle tells Jae-hae how it's dangerous and Yeon-myeong shouldn't participate in the competition, but his mother praises him about how incredible he is. While his uncle agrees to that part, but his attitude had changed a lot. It's all thanks to him and his family that has been protecting Yeon-myeong. Bro, come on, he was almost bullied to death. Since the situation escalated, he had to intervene, and Yeon-myeong is currently doing closed-door training. All this time he has been enjoying his mother's meals and trying to fix his twisted chi veins, since he had already reached the peak once he can learn techniques anytime he wants. At the age of 12 his meridians aren't fully blocked, so he can easily regain his powers, so all he has to do is to eat well and grow properly. On the day of the competition he bids his mother farewell and leaves with his uncle. As he leaves she feels proud and thinks if his father was alive he would feel the same. Yeon-myeong came a bit early and his uncle is away due to the competition proceedings. That when a horde of dogs come barking telling Yeon-myeong how trash like him is participating with them, but as they think about disciplining Yeon-myeong he gets knocked out and they bark that Yeon-myeong used a hidden weapon, but after taking a second look it's a half-eaten rice cake. The group get enraged and decides to beat him up, but Yeon-myeong approaches them, tells them if they want to experience the pain. White Monkey faced firsthand. Hearing this they get nervous and all charge towards Yeon-myeong. What a bunch of losers. That's when Yeon-myeong's uncle notices a guy flying through the door and realizes it's a participant. He rushes to the scene to find all of them beaten to a pulp by Yeon-myeong as he eats rice cakes sitting on top of them. The elders are all enraged and can't believe so many participants are injured before the competition, so the Grand Elder thinks of modifying the competition rules. According to some participants, first they undergo 2 to 3 years of training, then they proceed to one-on-one duels. That's when both the girls realize that they both know confidential information. Pink Hair tells her that her father works in the general office. Before Black Hair could talk, Yeon-myeong's uncle tells them that he will oversee the competition. The competition will last 4 years. In the first year they will learn a practice suitable for them, then for the next 2 years they will be under the guidance of assigned warriors. As for the main competition, it will be a goo poison match. Shocking everyone as it is a method where 2 poisons are stored in a jar and only the more potent one survives. Basically it means that the competition will continue until only one person remains. They were supposed to have duels, but because there was numerous dropouts as such more incidents could occur, so they changed the method and everyone stares at Yeon-myeong. Then this old hag explains that this is not a child's game but a very important competition, that they will have to risk their lives. Look at their determined faces as this hag tells them that the winner will possess the entire Tang family. According to this hag, only a select few will survive, among them one of them is Yeon-myeong. At night on the Black Death Alliance territory, a mysterious man is discussing about the Tang clan and how they have been plotting recently. According to their spies, it was declared a few days ago and the future of the Tang clan left in carriages. Currently the state of their clan is such that their alliance leader can get rid of them anytime he wishes, but for now he is leaving them since he has some use. So this guy is thinking if anything happens to the kids it would leave a irreversible damage to the Tang family. Although they are weak, but they are still a clan to be wary about. So for now they have tracked them down and can easily kill them, but what if they kill them 4 years later at the climax of the tournament, which would be fatal, so for now they have decided to lurk in the shadows. According to them, they have already planted a seed. As they walk to the competition venue, the supervisor tells them that they will be called by numbers instead of their names. Each group has 4 members and they are group 7. The pink hair girl is Yuri, the purple haired one is Mirio, and the boy is Aijin. The last one is number 28, which is our Yeon-myeong. He seems lost as he was thinking for a moment. He scolds Yeon-myeong for sitting idle, but according to our chat he feels a presence and they are most likely being tailed. After following him they reach a cliff with nowhere to go. From inside the cliff a man asks for password, and after giving it to him a light glows bright and a new retard has arrived. We will call him Skinny Barbie and he will be assisting them in the competition. Even they were once one of the top 5 clans, but that mega pervert invaded them and their clan fell. But because of the support of the Tang clan they managed to survive, so in return they prevent external forces from intruding in this competition. The members are shocked by how complex the formation is, while Mirio thinks something is seriously wrong with Yeon-myeong. as he not concentrating at all. Even back in the carriage the guard told them to introduce themselves to each other as they will be staying together for 3 years. They introduced themselves to Yeon-myeong and praises his courage as he disfigured the face of that red dog whose grandfather is an elder. Yeon-myeong in a rude manner tells that if it is his responsibility that the match turned into a goo poison match. Yuri tells him it's not entirely his fault and Mirio wants to argue, but they ignore her as Yeon-myeong is making a face that seems like he is actually enjoying all this, so if Yeon-myeong does something she will not let it slide. That's when the rest stop and find out that the skinny Barbie is missing and they can't find him. Mirio realizes that they are stuck into this formation and thinks if the skinny Barbie himself got lost. As she is thinking many things at the same time, we move on to that ugly duck. He is bragging about how without the caster there's no way to escape. He finds the Tang family elder pathetic that they would hold an entire group for a single kid, as they promise to double the support if he gets rid of Yeon-myeong. All this guy cares about is his family, and what the Tang clan does is none of his concern. That's when he notices a change in the formation and Yeon-myeong literally ripped it apart. Seeing this he gets scared and Yeon-myeong talks like a retard and tells him that he probably made a mistake so he should be careful. Skinny Barbie thinks to himself that there are no flaws, so how did they manage to escape? They ask Yeon-myeong how he did it and basically our Chad Kutsid Mirio tells them to stop fighting and stay together with the instructor, but this little dog ran away. Yeon-myeong finds it funny and that malnourished dog is running as fast as he can because he feels that Yeon-myeong can see through this formation. As he leaves the formation he thinks it's more than enough and Yeon-myeong won't ever be able to reach this place. That's when the supervisor Wojin stares at him intensely and asks this trash why group 7 is not with him. This skinny Barbie poops his pants as he is scared but tries to stay calm as he prepared for this kind of questioning. He tells him that group 7 won't be participating as he waited for the participants but they never showed up. According to this joker they might have faced bandits or come across some wild animals. That's when the formation cracks and Wojin thinks it might be an intruder but it's actually Yeon-myeong. The trash can't believe that the Jeagle clan's supreme formation broke so easily and Yeon-myeong is happy to see him. Before they arrived Mirio can't believe that Yeon-myeong has such an astonishing skill. And if is it even possible to break the formation with a short sword? Yeon-myeong tells them that he didn't break the formation and it will close soon so they should hurry up and leave. Wojin asks them if they are the participants and they confirm it and figures out that this man is the supervisor and according to him Skinny Barbie told him that they were attacked. Yeon-myeong tells him that he might be mistaken and it's because of his help that they could find them easily. The others can't figure out why he is lying. According to Yeon-myeong he is under the Tang clan's commands so he will keep it just as a suspicion. But after the competition if he finds that they are involved he will eradicate the Jeagle clan from the root. Retarded Barbie makes an excuse and runs away. Wojin apologizes to them for the trouble they faced and officially introduces himself to them as a member of the Bangui Brigade. According to Mirio the Bangui Brigade disappeared a long time ago. They were a military force directly under the young clan leader of the Tang clan and each one of them is as strong as a great leader. The previous clan leader was Yeon-myeong's mother. Before she could talk Yeon-myeong tells him why they are not in the Tang clan. Years ago they fought a desperate battle against the Heaven's Brilliance Demon Lord to protect their master but they were easily defeated. Since they couldn't protect their master they consider themselves nothing but sinners. According to Wojin the first year is autonomous practice and according to their performance they can receive martial arts, scriptures and weapons. Yuri asks Woji if the legendary techniques the 10,000 heavenly flower rain that was lost fighting that mega pervert. That technique is only granted to the one who becomes the young clan leader of the clan. Although it's an incomplete martial art its essence has been passed down by the elders. Hearing about the technique Yeon-myeong thinks that it's similar to sword control and he can probably mimic it to some extent. The winner will receive the essence from the elders one by one. Since he is done talking they can do whatever they want. Yuri asks him where they will be staying and where they can sleep. He outright tells them to survive on their own and they won't be getting any lodgings or comfortable beds. Wojin tells them that comfort will not make them strong and they should adapt to extreme conditions, so from this point onwards they will start practicing on their own judgment. Yeon-myeong literally asks if proved qualified is it okay to live comfortably on a bed since to him adapting to the forest's environment is unnecessary. Everyone including his teammates are shocked hearing him. Wojin thinks how can someone be so arrogant, but if he is the one that broke the barrier it's best to verify his abilities. Yeon-myeong's teammates are telling him to stop spouting nonsense. Wojin tells him that if he can pass the test he can stay in the manor inside the formation shocking his peers but if he fails he has to bear the consequences. Yeon-myeong tells them to start right away. The test is that the team members will surround him and throw hidden weapons and it ends when he manages to block or dodge them within 5 steps. It will start the second Yeon-myeong blindfolds his eyes, as they members surround him. Our group thinks if this is even possible, as they throw weapons from all sides towards Yeon-myeong. He counts them to be exactly 167 and takes out a dagger, and with a single exquisite slash Yeon-myeong manages to block them all, shocking everyone present on the scene. Woo-jin can't believe that he repelled all of them but realizes that he actually attracted all the weapons. Yeon-myeong asks him if he passed, but Woo-jin is in a shocked state. After coming to his senses, he tells Yeon-myeong that he has passed the test so he can directly go to the manor. Mirio asks Yeon-myeong if he plans to leave his teammates behind. Guess what? He smiles at them and shouts about the meal they will give him. Mirio can't control her anger, and Woo-jin thinks that the battle is already over before it even started. Yeon-myeong asks Woo-jin to make sure that every meal has meat included. In some place a pack of wolves are enjoying their meal, but soon they start coughing and get paralyzed, and from the top the trio launches a sneak attack. Using Ijin's poison-making skill they manage to hunt them down, and now they can finally eat. It's been 4 months and the first thing they encountered was a bear. Since they didn't find food, they had to survive on grassroots and shed tears when they finally succeeded in hunting. They even managed to find a shelter. As Ijin starts the topic of Yeon-myeong, Mirio gets angry and tells him to shut up. She thinks that Yeon-myeong is loafing around, and once they go to the manor she will beat him to a pulp. As they were talking they realized that the meat is not in its place and Yuri gobbled up everything, so they beat her to a pulp. Inside the manor, our Yeon-myeong is surrounded by squad members and they start attacking him, but Yeon-myeong kicks them to create distance and instantly disappears. Actually he is on top of them and plans to use a new technique. Yeon-myeong gets ready and throws 10 rings towards them simultaneously, but the attacks are not normal as they start hitting them one by one. Woo-jin can't believe that he can control them to the extent that it only nicked everyone's skin. Woo-jin asks him if he created this technique. Yeon-myeong agrees and tells him that he named the technique the Whirling Line Frenzy Dance. Woo-jin asks him that this technique will consume a lot of internal energy, so how can he manage it? Yeon-myeong tells him that he once asked manuals for eye techniques. Among the techniques there was Piercing Sky Eye and Current Flow's eyes, but since Current Flow Eye was incomplete it was not recommended. Yeon-myeong tells him that he has mastered Current Flow Eyes, which is one of the oldest and most powerful techniques of the clan. He completed the art using the essence, and the technique allows him to shoot at the desired point with minimal internal energy. Woo-jin isn't surprised anymore after all he has seen. He tells Yeon-myeong that in 2 months the rest of his team will be here and they will face the same test he has undergone. All 3 of them have proven themselves, but they would only return after they have polished their skills. Hearing this, Yeon-myeong is actually happy and excited to meet them, but according to Woo-jin they use his face as target practice. In Yeon-myeong's past life his only connection was his master the sword ghost, but in this life he has friends and family and he wishes to see them soon. After 2 more months the trio is ready to enter the manor and Mirio is very excited to meet Yeon-myeong. Yuri wants to split his head and Ijin doesn't have anything to say. They are all fired up and start calling for Yeon-myeong, but since there isn't any response Mirio thinks if he ran away. Mirio turns back to see why Ijin is so quiet. It's actually because Yeon-myeong is with him. Seeing him they get shocked and Yeon-myeong asks them what they were going to do to his head. Yeon-myeong tells them they weren't serious about smashing head and they should instead show him how much they have improved. They tells Yeon-myeong that they are just joking. Mirio didn't even notice him before turning around even after their sense being sharpened after living in the forest. She can't figure out what he was doing all this time. Moreover, Yeon-myeong has grown taller and becomes exceptionally handsome. Mirio thinks that something is wrong with her head after seeing only animals. Yeon-myeong praises that even from his perspective they have grown incredibly stronger. It's just that they looks less impressive because he is here. Moving on to the Jae-gal family, they are holding a meeting and they are here to report on their groups. One of them tells him that Red Dog has grown exceptionally strong compared to others, but it's because she is burning with immense hostility towards someone. One of them says that they cannot exclude number 10 who passed the warrior's test in just a month. Skinny Barbie thinks they are impressive, but compared to Yeon-myeong they all seem quite ordinary. Not only did he break the formation, but when he spied during his training he saw skills that even a master couldn't perform. However, recruiting him is very risky. So he decides to not bring Yeon-myeong's name up, so they have decided to recruit number 2. Since her face was disfigured it wouldn't be hard to win her heart. If she manages to win and become the young clan leader they can engage her with his nephew, which will officially make the Jae-gal clan the external family of the Tang clan. This will give them the power to intervene in the Tang family, and slowly but steadily they will take control and merge the Tang clan with their main house. Since number 28 is dangerous if he survives this, Barbie thinks of adopting him and tempt him with the position of young clan leader of the Jae-gal family. What a mutt. Living in the manor they have doubled their training, but nothing beats the comfort of having a bed. As for Ijin, he barged into the room swearing to kill Yeon-myeong. Ijin brags about the poison he had made, putting his whole soul into making it. Yeon-myeong picks it up and literally drinks the entire bowl. Ijin tells him to spit it out, but Yeon-myeong makes a huge burp as Ijin falls to the ground. Yeon-myeong seems to have gained a new power after consuming it and asks Ijin that the poison is weak and if he has anything better than this. Since he doesn't believe him, Yeon-myeong mocks his poison making skills and pisses him off, but whatever he makes, Yeon-myeong drinks it as if he is drinking booze. The poisons don't affect him anymore and Ijin thinks that he is immune to all poisons. According to Yeon-myeong, he is immune, but it's just the family's core technique, the poison refining madness. Yeon-myeong thinks it's funny if people that use poison die from it. The poison that entered his body had turned into internal energy, which depends on the type of poison he is consuming, but this stage is only attainable after profound realization. Weak poisons don't affect him anymore, so he needs to find stronger poisons. There are too many things he has to take care of, but he can easily take care of the elders. But if the Black Death Alliance leader or that pervert came, Yeon-myeong can't guarantee the outcome. Although he has no grudge with the Death Alliance, they divided the Sichuan city so they cannot be ignored, and their leader is called a genius that destroyed 3 of the 9 factions. If it was his previous self, he could beat them with a flick of his finger, and thinks that if Ijin could make a poison few times stronger. Our poison boy is depressed that he can't create the Tang clan's 10 poisons. Yeon-myeong asks what it means and Ijin explains that it's the 10 strongest poisons left by the ancestors. From the first poison to the 10th, the poison gets stronger the higher the number. The 10th poison was so strong that even transcendent beings can't survive through it. Hearing this, Yeon-myeong thinks of coveting it. He asks Ijin if he can make it, but all the formulas have been lost, so Yeon-myeong again mocks his poison. Moving on to Mad Dog, she is being suppressed by a guy, but he thinks something is wrong. All of a sudden he starts burning and soon turns into ashes. This is one of the 10 poisons that her grandfather gave her in case. With the help of this, she plans to get rid of Yeon-myeong and get her revenge. Another 6 months have passed and now they have been training for 1 year. So now Wajin will select a temporary team leader, but by the 3rd year they will officially elect a leader. The leaders from each group will participate in the Gu Poison match. Since it's a life and death situation, it's best that the most outstanding member becomes the team leader. Yuri just got to know that not everyone has to participate in the Gu Poison match, so they decide to appoint Yeon-myeong not only as a team leader but a winning contender. Wajin appoints Yeon-myeong as the new temporary leader of the group. Since no one has any objection, he tells Yeon-myeong to come forward and collect the elixir called the Heavenly Heart Pill. This is a special pill that is made of rare herbs which can significantly increase internal energy depending on the user's level. The members are jealous why they are giving him such a precious item. This is because the clan has high expectations from the team leaders. Before Wajin could finish, Yeon-myeong tells him if there is anything else and if there is anything other than this elixir, since he doesn't need something like this, shocking them. Instead, our Chad wants poison, and the strongest among them something like the Tang family's 10 poisons. Yeon-myeong received a lot of weapons because he couldn't get the poison, so he requested for them instead. Mirio tries to punch him as to why he gave up the pill. Yeon-myeong tells them that he didn't actually give up the pill a few hours earlier when he was receiving the weapons. Yeon-myeong was disappointed that he didn't get the poison and asks Wajin what he is going to do with the pill. He says that he will return it to the Medicine King Hall. Yeon-myeong figures out an interesting idea that if the team members combine together and defeat the temporary leader, they can re-elect a team leader and reward them the Heavenly Heart Pill. Wajin even thinks this is a good idea since investing into the future of the Tang family is good. Hearing all this from Yeon-myeong, they rush outside to bring weapons, but actually Yeon-myeong won't comply, as once he becomes the young clan leader he will ensure that they all get a Heavenly Heart Pill. They tell Yeon-myeong to come out to fight them. A lot of time has passed and it's almost time for the tournament. Ijin has lost a total of 172 times. Moving on to the girls, they have already given up and all their time passes by seeing Yeon-myeong's handsome face. Our Chad tells Ijin to admit defeat as he will be the young clan leader, even before he has met the other teammates. Wajin tells everyone that Yeon-myeong is officially the team leader and tomorrow the Gu Poison match will begin. He further tells him that in other teams there were disqualifications and even deaths, but compared to them all members of Team 7 are safe. All the members have grown as strong as them, and finally tells Yeon-myeong that all this time the use of poison was forbidden, but in the Gu Poison match everything is permitted except the 10 poisons, and such that Yeon-myeong should give it his all. The next day Ijin hands him a case full of the deadliest poison, and even a single drop can kill a person, and warns him not to treat it as his lunchbox. Ijin tells Yeon-myeong to promise them that he will make it out alive. Yeon-myeong lets himself get hit by Ijin and assures that he will be the last person to land a hit on him. Moving on to Red Dog, she is ready for the battle. Previously the Jaegal family contacted her and offered to give her an advantageous position. She asks him in return what it is that they want. This rat tells her that their family has weakened a lot, so they would like to join forces with the Tang clan so they don't lose all their sovereignty. She tells him what he will do if she rejects him, so this sly rat tells her that he is here to build trust and asks her what it is that she wants. Her only dream is to kill Yeon-myeong and avenge herself. All the teams have appointed their leader, but we don't want to waste our time. Seeing the beautiful scenery, Yeon-myeong thinks this a perfect day for someone to die. Yeon-myeong finds the Gu match venue vast, but the skinny Barbie is peeking on Yeon-myeong. Seeing him up close, he thinks they are wasting potential, but it's best to eliminate him. Yeon-myeong stares right in the sky as if he is seeing right through the formation as he instantly rips open the sky because he felt an unpleasant gaze. According to Wajin, no one is allowed to interfere in the goo poison match, but the Jaegal family has been sticking their nose from the beginning, but Yeon-myeong will leave them be as he can question them after the match. Skinny Barbie is extremely tired out as Yeon-myeong not only saw him, but if he didn't withdraw fast enough he would have been blinded. The bigger problem is that his swordsmanship can rip apart the space, which is unheard of. Finally, after 4 years, Barbie has figured out that Yeon-myeong is not someone that they can handle, so they must stop him by all means necessary or else he will seek revenge on them. One of the team leader is severely injured. All she wanted to do was join the force and provide for her impoverished parents and plan to withdraw, but she came across a crazy dog that wants to kill, so there's no way she can give up. That's when the dog used his nose to track her down. Although she is fast, her internal energy is not that great. She tells him that they are all from the Tang family, so he doesn't need to go so far. This ugly dog tells her that he doesn't consider himself one of them and outright beheads her. Yeon-myeong runs towards his surroundings and finds an cave to ascend to the transcendent level as his body has grown. The two condition for reaching transcendent realm is to attain enlightenment, which he already did in his past life, so Yeon-myeong breaks all the barriers he placed on his meridians. As poison spreads around his body, his internal energy skyrockets as his bones break and he undergoes metamorphosis. Although it's painful, Yeon-myeong manages to break through. To test his new powers, he uses his fingers to cut down a mountain and his usage of internal energy has decreased significantly. Moving on to that crazy dog, he is bullying that fat gorilla. This guy bullied Yeon-myeong, but karma got to him. This guy is an orphan that was raised by the grand elder as his own grandson. This guy is monstrously strong that he couldn't even touch him. Even in this situation, he is thinking about Yeon-myeong and starts laughing. Seeing this, the dog gets curious and he tells him that there is someone who is more scarier than him. So to make himself scarier, this retard tell him that he is a spy from the Black Death Alliance. Since Fatso now knows about his identity, he has to kill him, but all of a sudden his body freezes and his body starts bleeding as Yeon-myeong comes from behind and greets this Jeonjil guy, but he can't remember his face. After this arrogant loser got smoked by Yeon-myeong, we now see his past. We don't want to know anyways, but someone told him that with his monstrous talent and pretending to be an orphan, he will easily be adopted, and during the family head selection, if he kills the successors and returns to the family, he will be recognized. How generic, but watch the video, it gets way better. Moving to the present, filterless TikToker feels like his organs are melting, but he can't figure out how Yeon-myeong did all this without noticing him. The fat gorilla Jeonjil can't believe that the person standing in front is Yeon-myeong. Our chat asks him what that half-dead dude is called. He is literally called Ganja. I have nothing more to say. Yeon-myeong had felt an anger before coming to this mountain and thinks it was this guy. Suddenly Yeon-myeong moves his hand, a needle comes out from his neck. The Jeonjil guy figures are that Yeon-myeong poisoned him but can't figure out what kind of poison uses such a small needle, but Yeon-myeong ignores him and asks him if he has seen the other participants. The fat brain tells Yeon-myeong that they should first detoxify this Ganja dude, and he thinks that if Yeon-myeong shows vulnerability while detoxifying he can kill him. Obviously that's in his dreams. Jeonjil tells Yeon-myeong that he has changed a lot but gets nervous as he feels that Yeon-myeong only has resentment towards him. Yeon-myeong tells him that if he had that he would be lying on the ground. All of a sudden this dumb bulldozer apologizes to Yeon-myeong for what happened earlier, but Yeon-myeong doesn't care about the past. This guy didn't think that this would solve things from the past. Yeon-myeong probably left him alive as he is too dumb. While they were talking, the Ganja dude all high tries to sneak an attack on Yeon-myeong and tells himself that since he is going to die he will take Yeon-myeong with him. Dude thinks he is the protagonist and slashes at Yeon-myeong. All that leads to him cutting through an afterimage. Yeon-myeong gets behind him and tells him that he doesn't play with people who are about to die. Like a Chad, he grabs his shoulder and tells him to not retaliate or he won't have a body to bury. As he gets poisoned to death, Jeonjil is shocked that as always Yeon-myeong overpowers his enemy even if he is one of the top contenders, but what's more confusing to him is that final technique was from the black and white sword school, but Yeon-myeong neutralized it easily. Yeon-myeong tells him that it's just him that's left, so how should they determine the victor? Jeonjil is smart enough to surrender and Yeon-myeong allows it, but he can't find a way to get out, so Yeon-myeong rips apart the formation. This is outright savage as he tells him to get out from here. Afterwards he instantly vanishes from the place. In some other place we see hundreds of men practicing swordsmanship and see a worm die in his hand which was transplanted into that Ganja dude, so basically he is dead. Although he was an illegitimate child he had with a servant, his talents were out of this world compared to his siblings, so if his wife found about it she would lose the position of heir, so he intended to kill him multiple times. That's why he left him in the Tang clan with a different identity, but as a father he couldn't do anything, so he will avenge his child and tells all his disciples to assemble and tells them that they are going to destroy the Tang clan soon, and from today onwards no one with the Tang clan name will return alive from Mount Gongsan. This is where the competition is happening. At night Yeon-myeong thinks to himself that after running day and light he didn't encounter a single human, so no matter how vast this world may be it's too hard to believe. As he gobbles up the meat, Yeon-myeong didn't expect that they would deliberately fake it so they couldn't approach, and if that's the case the remaining survivors are from the Jaegal family, and figures out the entire plan they were scheming is such he has to pay the price for his crime. Yeon-myeong stares at the sky to find it stunning and sleeps as he wonders about his mother. That's when that red dog found Yeon-myeong. What a timing, but this retard can't recognize Yeon-myeong, and she was supposed to meet the last survivor or Yeon-myeong. She can't figure out his identity, however is regrettable that she has to kill someone so handsome. As he spreads the poison distribution gas and uses the 10 poisons of Tang clan, Yeon-myeong suddenly grabs onto her neck and asks her if she is cooperating with the Jaegal family. Our Chad tells her that while everyone was competing she found a safe place and tried to sneak onto the last person alive. As the dog gets hungry for a bone she figures out that our Chad knew that she was coming. Yeon-myeong tells her that if she wants to breathe she better answer him, gender equality at its peak. Yeon-myeong thinks of killing Red Dog since she won't answer. As for her, she mistakenly dropped her sword, looks more like a dagger. Our Chad figures out that she is Red Dog, but she can't figure out how he knows her name. Yeon-myeong is so merciless that he tells her that her personality didn't change one, so he should probably destroy her entire face. Moving on to Skinny Barbie, he is scared that the mission failed and Yeon-myeong managed to defeat opponents with higher levels. This guy played too many games, he literally destroyed your formations. Number 10 managed to defeat all his opponents but got owned by Yeon-myeong, but this Barbie is in doubt if Red Dog can defeat our boy, and if Yeon-myeong wins it's over for them. That's when he notices a source of light in the formation. It's that crazy dog's father, let's call him Minion. According to his friends they had bought in a total of 300 people, although it's excessive, but this guy isn't so dumb as he thinks the survivors will be more cautious so they should be careful. His friend asks him how's the spy he planted doing, but he failed so he is very concerned about it. Our Skinny Barbie sneaked into their conversation, and according to him this guy is crazy strong. He figures out that if they didn't have a spy how would they know the location, so he should contact the family and security forces. All of a sudden an idea pops up that he can kill Yeon-myeong with their help. Moving on to our boy, Red Dog thinks that she will die so she can only survive if she uses the Red Dragon's poison. As she takes it out Yeon-myeong notices that the dagger is coated in some substance. As he gets distracted she tries to throw it onto Yeon-myeong, but our Chad grabs it and tells her to answer him what this is. After making a face like that he figures out that the dagger was coated in it, so he put Red Dog onto the ground and gets ready to feed it to her. Nano Machine, you have a new competitor. Yeon-myeong wants her to experience the poison. As he gets ready to force it into her mouth she tells him that it's a specially formulated drug and he thinks that this poison is special. Dude wants to drink it as if it's wine. If he consumes it everything will be easy for Yeon-myeong. She tells Yeon-myeong to spare her, but he gets all serious and asks her if she colluded with the Jaegal family, and if she hesitates to answer he will feed the poison to her. She tells him everything they planned including the marriage proposal. Hearing this Yeon-myeong figures out that they are trying to strengthen their family through this offer. As he thinks of what to do with the Jaegal family he drinks the poison. Shocking Red Dog, these faces are so funny. She can't believe he is consuming one of the 10 poisons of Tang family and starts laughing as Yeon-myeong's face starts burning, and she literally goes crazy laughing like you guys who do the same hearing my lame jokes. She brags about how she is the only person who can neutralize this and whatnot. She can't understand why the grip strength hasn't decreased, but Yeon-myeong gets normal and finds it very spicy. What was this, a bottle of Naga sauce? She thinks that it's absolutely impossible for someone to survive after consuming it as it contains the blood of a legendary being and a single drop of his blood could kill 1,000. Before she finishes her speech Yeon-myeong buries her head into the ground and kill her. Rest in peace Red Dog, you will be remembered. After consuming the poison Yeon-myeong feels that he has learned the martial art of the sun, and as he was about to leave he notices a sun when it's midnight now. Suddenly many changes occur and Yeon-myeong finds himself in some other place. It's probably the work of Skinny Barbie. Yeon-myeong uses his senses to find many presences, and according to him there are a bit over 300 people. Since the prey has walked in, Yeon-myeong thinks of freeing his hand, dips his needles into the poison Ijin made. Skinny Barbie informs Wajin that there are intruders as there was a spy among them who revealed their location. He then tells him that how there were over 300 troops led by the Dark Moon leader Mak Inhu, but we will still call him Minion. Wajin can't figure out why they are in Sichuan and how can they find this palace which is hidden by the 7 Lock Phantom formation. Our musclehead tells him that they should hurry up, but this skinny retard tells him that how they entered the inner world of where the poison match is happening, so they made it impossible to intervene, so they have no choice but to rely on the kids. Moving on to Yeon-myeong, he has slaughtered hundreds of them with his poison needles. Minion finds his child and gets devastated. His ally tells him that it looks like Crazy Dog was killed with a poison needle without any struggle, so he died one-sidedly. This hypocrite talks about honor when he wanted to kill a clan's foundation, so he loses his mind and tells his disciples to search for anyone from the Tang family. As all the groups gets dispatched, he swears to not leave anyone alive. Bro, this old loser is fighting some kids and acts high and mighty. The disciples talk to themselves about how the leader is acting weirdly, and the Tang family is not to be underestimated as they killed Ganja in a single strike. Unfortunately, as they were talking, one of them gets poisoned to death with the same poison needle. They get ready to battle, but soon notice that hundreds of poison needles are raining down from the sky as they all get poisoned to death. The poison Aegean made lethal enough for foot soldiers as he uses his inner energy to call back all the needles. Man, this was sick, not gonna lie. A scout tell Minion that all the groups dispatched got annihilated and all of them were poisoned without any struggle and killed the same way. More scouts come and informs his the same thing, and now Minion is nervous and their number has significantly decreased. According to his friend, in an hour of searching they have already lost more than 100 of their men. As such, he figure out this was possibly done by one person. Minion is scared enough to pee in his pant and thinks without a doubt that it's the work of a master from the Tang family. Minion gathers up courage and leaves the command to his friend as he plans to face the enemy himself. His friend thinks in an hour or two the sun will set, and if they can't find the intruder before that, they can get annihilated, as they are the only ones suffering, so he tells everyone that they will leave in an hour. But bad luck, Yeon-myeong is sitting in a tree waiting for them. But this monkey can't believe that he didn't feel a presence until he talked. He tells everyone to dodge but looks behind to see everyone dead as Yeon-myeong asks him if he is the leader. Even on high alert, he didn't sense Yeon-myeong coming down from the tree, but he is too young to be a master. Yeon-myeong uses his chi to call back all the needles. Dude is outright badass. This guy thinks he is Einstein as he tries to figure out how strong Yeon-myeong is, and what he did earlier was a technique and it probably consumes a lot of inner energy. He tells Yeon-myeong that he has never seen him, but our Chad tells him it doesn't matter what he thinks or does as he is going to die anyways. This monkey uses a technique and directly transforms into Super Saiyan 4 and charges towards Yeon-myeong, but to his surprise with a single palm Yeon-myeong stops it and mocks him by saying if that's all he has got, and this monkey loses his mind. In a flashback we learn that once the Black Death Alliance took down one of the 9 factions, so this monkey willingly joined them. So as a reward the leader decides to refine the palm technique for him. His technique, Peak Shaking Palm, was renamed. This black leader thinks since he improved it should be called Heaven Quake Palm, but he can't believe such a technique was bested by a young kid. The poison Yeon-myeong drank was the fire dragon's venom. When mastered, as deadly as sword chi is filled with intent to cut down anything would be known as sword force. Similarly, venom chi filled with the intent to burn anything would be venomous force. As the Heaven Quake Palm slowly shatters and this monkey instantly burns to his death. As such, Yeon-myeong decides to name it the Fiery Venom Force. Then our Chad moves on to the remaining survivors and asks them who wants to die first, since he has no intention of leaving any of them alive. That's when the minion enters the scene, acting all strong. As he gives his bold speech, he tells everyone to get into a formation and surround Yeon-myeong, but look at his face, guys. Surrounded by the enemy, the old man promises to avenge the dead. This reminds Yeon-myeong of the training he did with the Bangui Bridage. Last time he did the whirling chaos dance, so this time he will do something different as he disappears and their heads start flying left and right, but little minion can't figure out his movements as the enraged disciples charge towards him. Yeon-myeong destroys their sword mid-air and uses the broken sword particles infused with his chi. He recreates the 10,000 heavenly flower rain. Isn't this cool? As Yeon-myeong walks, dozens are getting shredded into pieces, and although it's not strong as the original, so Yeon-myeong names it Iron Shard Volley. Since everyone is dead and Minion thinks Yeon-myeong is tired after killing this many disciples and gets ready to attack him and decides to use all the techniques the alliance leader bestowed upon him. As he uses all of his ultimate attacks, Yeon-myeong yawns and blocks all of his techniques. As such, Yeon-myeong has decided to be merciful and show him the silent sword technique. Minion can't believe that Yeon-myeong is able to handle the silent sword technique. Yeon-myeong tells him that it's rather a simple technique, shocking Minion's face. Yeon-myeong make that meme face and Minion thinks that it took him years to master this technique, but it's easy for him. Yeon-myeong tells him that he killed someone earlier who used the same technique, but he knows that they are all under the Black Death Alliance and knows that Lizard in the form of a human can improve any martial arts. That's why independent martial artists leave their former life to devote themselves to the Black Death Alliance. But Yeon-myeong is disappointed by the fact that This is a trivial technique that someone can easily imitate it. Minion got shocked to many times in a single chapter. Yeon-myeong is cruel enough to mock the leader and tells Minion that the lizard didn't have enough faith in him. Since he is so arrogant, Yeon-myeong will show him the actual power of this technique. As Yeon-myeong releases his chi, the dagger increases length. For those who have reached a transcendental level, they can manipulate it. As such, he uses Blade River, ripping apart this inner world in two. Damn, this looks cool. This minion can't believe that a human can use such a technique. Since Yeon-myeong is able to handle so much energy with ease, he must have reached the final stage, in other words the transcendent stage, but Yeon-myeong read his mind as the minion turns into a rat and runs away. Arched tells him that there is no point in running when he suddenly makes that meme face and thinks of using the Tang clan's technique. As the newly born rat runs, he thinks how it's possible for a kid to reach the final stage, that too from the fallen Tang clan. Yeon-myeong's ninja-like spinning blades start attacking him as the rat tries to stop them with his sword. More of them surround him, but this evolved rat managed to hold his ground, but slowly but steadily he gets injured and survives at the cost of an arm. This rat has so much trash in his head that he thinks he can survive, as Yeon-myeong must have wasted a lot of energy using this skill. Yeon-myeong enters the scene and using his chi on the rings, and they start spinning on the ground, shocking this retard, as the spinning blades surround him and the rat gets chopped into pieces. Yeon-myeong enjoyed this place a lot as he used multiple techniques and there's no one alive, so Yeon-myeong decides to leave this place. Arched forms energy around his dagger and thinks that he will fix the elder in the Jaegal clan and make each one of them pay. As Yeon-myeong rips open the formation, this never gets old. Moving to this skinny Barbie, it continues to lie to everyone about how they can't intervene to make the competition fair. What a liar. Everyone present can't believe his words, but in reality this ugly trash can enter the formation anytime he wants, but since he sealed it, no one can make it out of the competition alive. And according to his informants, the Dark and White clan leader is here with 300 of his disciples, which will be impossible for Yeon-myeong to handle. As this donkey covered in makeup talks nonsense again, he sees everyone making an happy reaction. Looking back, he sees Yeon-myeong staring right at him. Yeon-myeong's friends rush to hug him and he tells them that no one was able to hurt him. With a smile on his face, Yeon-myeong stares directly at the shocked skinny Barbie. Barbie cannot understand how it is possible that he is alive, and if the 300 soldiers were completely useless, he notices Yeon-myeong's glare and hides his face with a folding fan. The Jeonjil dude greets Yeon-myeong and he smirks at him, but Barbie is still in disbelief how he is able to cut through the 7 legendary formation of the Jaegal clan, which even a master won't be able to do, and gets suspicious that Yeon-myeong is above a master. Yeon-myeong wants to immediately kill him, but he can't take chances until he becomes the head. So he first decides to take care of the Tang clan elders. As Yeon-myeong was about to explain to him what had happened, the surroundings suddenly started shaking and the entire formation starts breaking down. Everyone can see what had happened inside the inner world. They see hundreds of dead bodies. Wajin is in amaze that he handled this May by himself, and even he would find it difficult to deal with more than 30 of them, but after seeing the dead body of that evolved rat earlier known as Minion, they are literally acting like girl in concerts as he is extremely strong. Yeon-myeong is literally a top-tier protagonist. He tells Wajin that they weren't hard to deal with as it was expected from him. Wajin thinks his power is already beyond the head. All the remaining contestants can't believe that he did all this by himself and is probably beyond the final stage and whatnot. Hearing this, Yuri and the rest are proud for some reason. Now we unfortunately have to give some screen time to White Monkey as he feels extremely angry knowing that he got crippled while Yeon-myeong got stronger and he was someone he could beat anytime he wanted. Wajin makes an announcement that the competition is concluded and names Yeon-myeong the winner, and if anyone has objections they can come forward, but sad that this cripple can't do much with a broken hand. As Yeon-myeong is now named the winner, they all assemble in front of him and Wajin thinks finally they have hope of reviving the Tang clan through Yeon-myeong. All 82 members aside from Wajin greets Arched as their new head. Mirio and Yuri thinks if they have to speak formally with Yeon-myeong, Wajin thinks to himself that if Yeon-myeong is trained right he can be the next big thing, which obviously our overpowered Chad can read, and tells them that it won't take that much time and soon become a reality. Hearing this they all get reassured and is ready to follow Yeon-myeong, and his first orders are for all of them to go to the main house. As for the money, he is pissed that Yeon-myeong got everything and he will get his revenge even if he has to sell his soul. Chill bro, it's not worth that much, as he transforms into a deformed omelet. After they all left the scene, the joint sect Taeho along with his fat assistant Hyunso. They were nearby but can't believe that more than 300 people have been killed. But they think that no matter what, the younger generation are monsters, as with even a number less than 100 in the mountain they could do it. But this Taeho thinks something is wrong that such a thing happened, but none of them were aware as over the year the Tang clan sent them valuables in honor of the tournament. Hyunso thinks that the Tang clan's blade technique declined very much, but when Taeho tells him that it was done by a short blade, shocking this fat panda. According to his analysis, these people were dealt in seconds sand, so all of them were killed by one person, so he must see this person and decides to go to Sichuan. Hyunso is worried that while going to Sichuan if they come across them, but Taeho is confident as he has reached the top. Remember Evolved Rat also behaved like this and got owned by Yeon-myeong. Hyunso thinks that it is best if they first visit the family, so this Taeho dude agrees to it. At the moment the Black Death Alliance is in the south while the demonic cult is in the west, and for the joint faction they are currently in a tough spot. So his master wanted to meet the Tang clan master who was in a similar situation. As he leaves spilling rubbish, if I narrated more of this boring trash you guys would leave. Moving on to the main house, the ugly ginger was scribbling trash on paper when one of them informs him that the competition is over and all the participants are back. He thinks the competition ended faster than expected, but with Red Dog having the poison it wouldn't be too hard to win the competition, but the informants burst his bubble and tells him that among them he didn't see Red Dog. Moving on to the main gate, the guard are discussing about who will win the competition as they notice our Chad leading people and everyone is gathered to know who the winner is, but before that all the women present are going crazy seeing our Rizgod. They thought most of them would be dead, but a lot of them managed to survive. Seeing Jianjil happy if you think that he is new head, but sadly many of them didn't survive the competition. Seeing them, Yeon-myeong thinks that his mother would also be worried about him, but he is more worried about what he should do if she doesn't recognize him. Yuri takes this opportunity to show Yeon-myeong her father, who is relieved to see his daughter being alive. Yeon-myeong asks her if she is asking him to take care of, well, she doesn't deny, but he is very skilled, but he didn't get promoted because he didn't suck up to anyone. Yeon-myeong finds this as an opportunity to make people who are on odds with elders his own, but he doesn't know much about Aijin and Mirio. The current head of the Tang clan, let's call him Crippled Chicken, greets everyone, and this skinny Barbie starts smooth talking him, and this Crippled Chicken praises him how their formation helped the Tang family and they were comfortably able to host the competition, but little does he know that it broke. Since he is done greeting, he tells everyone to go meet the elders and the warriors are dismissed so they can rest. Wajin apologizes to them, but they will not go to the elders' house, shocking this to house animals. The chicken star questioning Wajin, but as the person of Yeon-myeong, he tells him that as per the family rules they were supposed to visit the stealth and poison hall rather than the elders' house. This crippled chicken gets pissed and tells Wajin to disperse or else her will punish them for protesting, shocking everyone, and according to Wajin they are clearly showing that not to talk back to the elders. Yeon-myeong intervenes and asks him if there is anyone who has more power than the family head, and after asking for his identity Yeon-myeong tells him that he is the winner of the competition. This chicken goes back to its den and informs its masters that the winner is called Yeon-myeong. This ginger-faced can't accept that Yeon-myeong won the competition and thinks about how his grandchild can lose even after having the red dragon's poison. The Grand Elder is confused how his disciple that he personally recognized and before the competition he was sure that Yeon-myeong was not as strong as him, so he is growing every day as they speak. As these retards talk about what to do they come to a conclusion that they should meet up with Yeon-myeong directly. The third elders asks Chicken why he didn't bring them here. Earlier Yeon-myeong told him that only the head can order the heir, and since that position is vacant it doesn't mean the elders can order in their place. As this crippled chicken tells Yeon-myeong that he hasn't been officially declared the heir yet. Hearing this, Yeon-myeong releases his inner energy, almost making this chicken lay its eggs, and as such everyone will follow him to the poison and stealth department and wants this chicken to inform the elders that their reign is over. As the crippled chicken shakes in fear he repeats the words Yeon-myeong told him. The elder gets so pissed he destroys a table and tells everyone that Yeon-myeong hasn't been selected as the official heir so they can question his attitude and strip him of his qualifications, so they will go to the poison and stealth hall and all elders assembles their private force. Since our Chad challenged the authorities of the elder and misbehaved, they will show him who the master of the Tang family is. Yeon-myeong's uncle can't believe that he won the competition. He felt his aura as a kid, but now it has surpassed him and he thinks his sister would be happy hearing this. That's when an old monkey is shocked that Yeon-myeong won the competition. He is that white monkey's father, and 3 years ago he threatened Yeon-myeong that he would make him and his mother pay for what he did to his son's hand. Yeon-myeong loses his mind and tells him that he is here and is waiting for this old trash to demand compensation from him. Before he speaks, Yeon-myeong tells him to think carefully before speaking or he might cripple his son's other hand. Wajin is in awe after learning that Yeon-myeong is the son of the Poison Phoenix. Yeon-myeong tells him that what he wants to know our Chad will tell him once the time is right, because the Tang clan faced that TikToker, but he used so much filters that he managed to behead the Tang clan leader, making his soldier more courageous as they push forward disregarding their poison techniques. Wajin asked the help of the elder, but they rejected them as their fall would lead to the clan's downfall. If they helped even a bit the damage would be greatly reduced, but after winning the battle they blamed it all onto Yeon-myeong's mother. So she must have faced a lot of difficulties raising Yeon-myeong. He tells the others that they must remember who the mother of their current master is. It's as if they have been given a second chance. That's when Wajin hears a noise. It's the voice Yeon-myeong has been waiting for, as the elders are all here with their forces and wants to meet Yeon-myeong after defying the council. Wajin is nervous as he didn't expect that they would gather all their forces. He doesn't want to hear anything and wants to meet Yeon-myeong. Our Chad comes to meet them at stairs at their comedy. as he tells Yeon-myeong that he dared to claim the future leader of the family without their permission. Yeon-myeong tells him that he has already won their competition and currently he is verifying the fairness at the Stealth and Poison Hall, overseeing the competition. As such, what more does he need? All the elder are protesting because of the way he is talking to them. The arrogant retard warns him that if he wants to lead he has to explain everything that happened at the competition. Yeon-myeong tells them that it's against the rules of the family to talk about the competition, and it seems to Yeon-myeong that the weight of the family rules is lighter than expected. This loser says that he heard from the Jaegel clan that people from the Dark Moon sect and the Sword sect with nearly 300 people attacked them since they interfered. The competition should not be considered fair. Yeon-myeong tells them that Ganja and Red Dog killed all participants and our Chad finished them off. As Yeon-myeong was finishing his sentence, the old ginger loses his mind and asks him to repeat it, so Yeon-myeong tells him to go visit the place himself. This old hag charges towards Yeon-myeong, but in front of this mosquito our Chad stops his attack with a single hand as he mocks him because he is pissed over the death of his grandchild. This old retard can't believe that Yeon-myeong managed to block his attack so easily until he has surpassed the internal strength he has cultivated for decades. The trash tries to attack again, but Yeon-myeong shows him the bottle of the red dragon's poison. The old trash asks him where he got it and Yeon-myeong drops it to the ground and it starts burning the ground, and Yeon-myeong tells everyone that it's the Tang clan's top 10 poison. Wajin wants to confirm it and Yeon-myeong tells them that it's the red dragon's poison and the person who handled the storage was this third elder. Yeon-myeong tells everyone that is the Tang family's top 10 poison is so trivial that people can use it for their personal greed. Wajin tells him that the top 10 poisons are the most deadliest of all, and since their recipes are lost they are limited, and in the clan they are worth more than any gold or treasure. Since he used it for personal use he will be charged according to the family rules. As Yeon-myeong smirks at this ginger that even if he holds the title of elder he isn't immune from the clan's law. Look at his face, looks like a zombie from Walking Dead. As such, Yeon-myeong will give him an honorable death as he burns him into ashes in front of everyone present in the family, and none of them have the right to judge the seat of the family head, so Yeon-myeong will decide what is right and what is wrong. The Grand Elder, let's call him Smelly Mongoose, blames his men that they can't subdue a single person. Yeon-myeong tells him that the disciple of Grand Elder has endangered the family. But he doesn't do anything, so Yeon-myeong tells him that he is a spy from the Dark Moon sect. The Smelly Mongoose tries to make excuses and wants Yeon-myeong to provide evidence. Jeonjil, the son of the director, steps forwards and tells everyone that he is the sole witness to this, and Crazed Dog used his sword techniques on him before Yeon-myeong killed him. He further tells them how he used sword technique mixed with his poison and stealth techniques. One of the elders tells him that he saw that guy using his sword technique and all his peers were badly injured, but the wounds were similar to the ones Jeonjil has on his body. Our more matured musclehead even tells them how this dog confessed to him that he is a spy. Yeon-myeong wanted to use him as a spy, but he never expected him to come forward, since he owes Yeon-myeong his life. Hearing his confession, the Grand Elder is now in a tough position and doesn't know what to do and tells the elders to block Yeon-myeong, but they don't respond, and Yeon-myeong tells him that is his status light that he can ignore the clan head's orders since he wasn't proven to be involved directly with Crazy Dog. Yeon-myeong instantly cuts his hand off, as even he cannot escape the accusation of harboring a spy. Yeon-myeong decides to spare his life as there wasn't enough evidence of his collusion. Yeon-myeong's swordsmanship was so fast that he couldn't see it, but this mongoose hit a poison, which is very strong, although it's not as strong as the top 10 poison. It's colorless and odorless. Yeon-myeong drinks poison as if it's a protein shake. Nevertheless, as the poison spreads in the air, this smelly trash thinks he has succeeded in his plan. Yeon-myeong notices that this loser spread a poison in the air, so our savage Chad chops his other hand as well. Obviously one dog is barking that Yeon-myeong has gone mad since he said it with his own mouth that he would consider mercy. That when another elder tells him to look at the Grand Elder's severed hand, the object near his hand is a poison bottle. Yeon-myeong finds it disgraceful to the family that the Grand Elder would try to poison the head of the clan, so according to the clan's rules and because of his crime he will be deemed as a traitor and gets executed in front of everyone, and warns everyone that all of them are not above the Tang clan's laws. If any of them were to disobey the head or break the laws, Yeon-myeong would punish them himself. If this continues, the clan will collapse anytime, but Yeon-myeong promises that the members will not be exposed to the threat of the pervert and the lizard sect and cults. Yeon-myeong tells the elders if they acknowledge our Chad as the rightful head of the Tang family. Onto Yeon-myeong's mother yard, the nanny starts crying as our Chad won the family head competition, and because of his overwhelming power even the elders had to acknowledge him. She is proud of her son, but man, they upgraded her art, now she looks way too pretty. Moving on to our Chad, he wanted to meet his mother and inform her first, but there are a mountain of tasks that he has to handle. As per Yeon-myeong's orders that all the issues will be handled by the Stealth and Poison Hall and all key decisions will be need the family head's approval. Although most of the elders are displeased, Elder O is the only one who expresses concerns and tells Yeon-myeong that he can act as a regent until Yeon-myeong grows up. Our Chad thinks it's a good idea, but he will decide later who will take over the regency. After investigations, the Poison Hall concluded that the third elder indeed misplaced the red dragon's poison. Yeon-myeong has decided that the elder can keep their personal forces, but they will have to bear the cost of maintaining themselves, and if they set a budget for that, it would be nulled as of this moment. Since two factions under the elders had no one to lead them, they are combined into the shadow troop assigned to the Stealth and Poison Hall. Yeon-myeong adjusted their salaries and like a savage tell them that they are outright trash, so they should prove their worth or else they will be dismissed. A few days later, Yeon-myeong summoned the Jaegal clan, and Skinny Barbie can't believe that Yeon-myeong used force to topple over the elders council and all of their plan have failed miserably. He thinks no one might know about what they did in the competition. Dude really thinks Yeon-myeong is a retard. Our handsome Chad in new clothes tells him that he was busy so he forgot about a few things. Barbie can't believe that Yeon-myeong looks so different. Barbie tells that what is the reason they were summoned, and Yeon-myeong tells them the Jaegal family's formation is great, so he should make the main clan's formation for the Tang clan. Barbie tells him that he cannot do it without the head's permission, so Yeon-myeong throws a needle and instantly kills everyone other than him, and Yeon-myeong says that he already knows about their plan of trying to take over the Tang clan, and if he is dumb enough to think that he would ignore all this. According to the clan's rules, he will pay the Jaegal clan 10 times back if he doesn't hear a positive response on the count of 3. Our Chad will personally go to Jaegal clan and annihilate it himself. So this Barbie has no choice but to agree to Yeon-myeong, in return wants him to spare his family members, so Yeon-myeong will trust it to be done. Moving to the story, it's been a few days since Yeon-myeong became the clan leader. Currently he called in his friends, but they seems to be extremely nervous in front of him. Mirio is scared and asks Yeon-myeong why he called them, calling him by the name family head. Hearing this, our Chad laugh and tells them if they are mad enough to maintain formality with him. So they start acting like barbarian. Looking at them, it seemed like Yeon-myeong is a teacher and allowed her students to never study in class. Yuri asks our boy what is the reason he called them here. Yeon-myeong tells her that he has appointed her father as the chief officer, shocking the other two barbarians. He tells her that her father is a very capable person and have caught a golden opportunity that he should seize. Yuri also wants this, but she is worried that if he decides like this there will be retaliation. Our Chad says that silencing a few opposing voices is easy for him, but if her father was to show off his connections and neglects his duties or secretly embezzles fund, he would be dead. Yuri stops him and tells our Chad that her father is not that kind of a person. Since his position is decided, he tells Yuri to assist him in adapting to the chief officer's duty. Yeon-myeong thinks to himself that if Yuri's father were to follow what he did, there would be no need to worry. I downed on my jokes because I am not getting any money because of them. Moving on to Yuri, she is still crying like a little girl. As for Mirio and Ijin, our Chad would like to hear their current situation, that is the reason he called them. If there are people with outstanding capabilities but are suppressed out, ostracized, he plans to take them under him. As Yeon-myeong talks, Mirio tells him that she doesn't have anyone to recommend. Yeon-myeong asks Ijin that he is related to the Medicine King Hall and wants to know the condition of that place. Hearing this, Ijin has gone dead silent. He tells Yeon-myeong that he has been wondering all this time if he should talk about the Medicine King Hall because all this is related to our boy, specifically his father. Hearing this, Yeon-myeong's reaction changes, and this involves the ones who were related to his father's poisoning. Behind all of this was the Medicine King Hall. Mirio cannot believe and asks Ijin if he is sure it's the Medicine King Hall. Yuri turns into Gorilla Barbie and tells everyone that Yeon-myeong should split their head for laying a hand on the family head's father. Our Chad tells her to shut up and wants Ijin to continue what he was saying. The Medicine King's Hall is so secluded within the main house that not even the elders' influence can reach there. All studies related to medicine and toxicology are conducted. Furthermore, they maintain their finances through treating patients and selling medicine materials. Even after that Heavenly Perverts incident, the Tang clan survived because of the Medicine Hall's support. They earned the funds necessary for the Tang clan's maintenance cost. Ijin is shivering in anger as he tells Yeon-myeong that the leader of the Medicine King Hall was his grandfather. Mirio tells him that he was dismissed because of some reason. During his time as the leader, there was someone who visited the hall daily. It was Yeon-myeong's father. After the invasion, those resentful of the Medicine King Hall increased, but if anyone slandered the Medicine King, he would stand up for them. But since he was a scholar without any internal strength, the aftermath of a physical fight was evident on his body. According to Yeon-myeong, if someone with no internal energy is hit by an attack carrying inner force, they cannot dissipate the energy and end up suffering deep internal injuries. Despite all this, his father still fought through. Ijin goes deeper into the story and talks about the person who was holding the position of vice leader of Medicine Hall King. We will name him Froggy, which is pretty accurate if you look at his face. A dispute broke out when this fat Froggy was caught by Yeon-myeong's father slandering his mother. Instead of reflecting this, Frog tried to use martial arts when he was losing the argument. It stopped only after his grandfather intervened. Because of this, Froggy was excluded from being a candidate for the next leader. Before we continue, I can't understand how Yeon-myeong's mother was the young clan leader but she never retaliated. Anyways, moving to Yeon-myeong, he asks Aijin if that Froggy harbored resentment and poisoned his father. Aijin starts crying and tells him that after poisoning Yeon-myeong's father he killed Aijin's father and poisoned his grandfather. Furthermore, this frog imprisoned him. Hearing all this, Mirio is shocked that all of this happened and none of this wasn't made known. Ever since his grandfather was poisoned he was not in his right mind, so even if he explained the situation no one would step forward. So that's why he entered the competition, and during this 3 years they wouldn't kill someone who knew the truth about this incident. As Aijin cries about going to see his grandfather's condition but he is too afraid to go there, so he apologizes to Yeon-myeong that it will be hard to find talents he seeks in the Medicine King Hall. Yeon-myeong asks Aijin why is the vice leader still keeping his grandfather alive and it would be better to silence him by killing him. As Aijin cries, he tells Yeon-myeong that according to him there is a secret division in the medicine hall that even the elders aren't aware of. Inside there is an inner pill made from a mythical creature that lives in lava. Looks like a Pokemon to me and I can't help but appreciate this unique art. It is called the 10,000-year fire carp. Hearing this, Yuri is shocked and Mirio can't believe that it exists. Yeon-myeong is confused as usually an inner pill is just an item that enhances internal strength. Aijin says that 100 years ago there is a tale that the lesser lord of the fiery sun palace took the inner pill of a 10,000 fire carp and ascended to the realm of fire realm. He says that the inner pill of it contains extremely strong poison and if it is taken without neutralizing the poison, if consumed 9 out of the 10 times it leads to death. If the poison is removed forcefully the effects would be lessened. Hearing all this, Yeon-myeong says if there is anyone who won neutralized by anyone except his grandfather, the former leader. Aijin tells his that Froggy's goal is to consume the inner pill and reach the fire realm. Afterwards he plans to lead his followers out of the Tang clan and become the head of his own sect. Everyone present in the room is shocked hearing that a 2-feet frog is planning all this. Yeon-myeong thinks this guy is stupid to think that consuming inner pill and reaching the fire realm, but this realm is one where he would not receive true enlightenment, which is precisely the fire realm, in other words a realm below the transcendent realm. The 3 years Chad spent with him, he never showed his worries after all that happened and instead smiled in front of everyone. Yeon-myeong thanks Aijin for telling him everything he has gone through and asks him that if he were to purge the current member and cure his grandfather, would the Medicine King Hall be able to function properly? If he was just poison, Yeon-myeong can take care of it and wants an answer from him. Aijin is confident that it is possible and he thinks he is less capable than the current leader. Yeon-myeong is happy to hear his answer and tells Mirio that he will hear her story after dealing with the Medicine King Hall, which she agrees wholeheartedly. Yeon-myeong tells Aijin to get ready to visit the Medicine King Hall, but he tells our boy that he hasn't visited his mother since coming to the main house. Yeon-myeong says that she would understand that he cannot leave his duties as the family head. She wouldn't want him to stand idly after hearing what his friend has endured, and today is the day our Chad will erase the Medicine Clan Hall from the Tang clan. Moving on to the Medicine King Hall, the fat frog is tensed that the son of Tang Longriang became the family head, which is an annoying development, but he thinks what he did was before he was born so he wouldn't be aware of what he did to his father. But what's troubling is that Aijin hasn't returned to the Medicine King Hall yet and she isn't the type to abandon her grandfather. Wait, what? I thought she was a boy. This deformed trash smiles and thinks that she valued her life over that of her grandfather and is confident that he can kill her anytime. The biggest problem currently is the inner pill, and to fully absorb the inner pill's energy and reach the fire realm, the old man won't open his mouth even if he regains his sanity, which is a hindrance to his plan. This frog thinks of removing the poison himself, but if he messes it up he could lose the entire inner pill. As he thinks of a better solution, an attendant knocks on this frog's door and tells him that the family head is here, shocking him, and he leaks his pants. Outside the hall the Bangui brigade is dragging and beating the people of the medicine hall, serves them right. And the person leading the charge is our mega Chad Yeon-myeong. Looking at his face he is probably going to slaughter everyone. The tadpoles are shouting and tells them if they have forgotten where they are. Aijin tells Yeon-myeong that she searched everywhere but couldn't find her grandfather. She searched every nook and cranny but there isn't a single trace of him. Losing her mind, she asks the tadpoles where he is kept, but they just won't answer, so Yeon-myeong orders Wajin and he instantly rips them into pieces. That was what you call badass. Everyone captured is shocked and Yeon-myeong tells them they can keep quiet as he only needs one mouth to talk anyways. After the contest began, Froggy instructed them to imprison the former leader to a place in Nook. Hearing this, Aijin and Wajin are outright shocked. This is a place made to isolate those suspected of being infectious. due to its cold and damp environment it was close because it worsened their condition. Yeon-myeong is going to that place with Ijin and orders Wajin to clean up here and wait at the entrance. As they go inside, Wajin starts slaughtering everyone present and these tadpoles beg for mercy. As they go down a narrow cave, Yeon-myeong thinks Nook is a fitting name for this place. After reaching the entrance she starts crying, wondering if they are too late. Yeon-myeong reassures that he is still alive as he has found him using his otherworldly senses. After finding the prison, Yeon-myeong tells Ijin to step aside and chops down the prison gate. His condition has worsened and they probably used the mountain subduing poison. Yeon-myeong tells her to calm down and they came here to save her grandfather. Ijin tells our boy that aside from that they used the Thunderbolt idiocy poison, it directly affects the brain and is meant to make one an idiot rather than killing them. This poison is not strong but it penetrates the brain, making antibodies ineffective. Without early intervention there's no way, but to our Chad this is an easy thing to do. Yeon-myeong tells her to hold him down and places his hat on him. Our Chad injects his inner energy to his body and the poison devouring frenzy starts devouring all the poison within his body. Ijin notices his hand moving. Yeon-myeong thinks that it's best to just absorb the poison as his poison devouring frenzy has devoured extreme poisons many times. His complexion starts improving and as Yeon-myeong is done devouring all the poison, he tells the old man to rise up and he opens his eyes to see his granddaughter. What's funny is that he misunderstood Yeon-myeong as his father, so they explain to him what had happened and now he is the family head. Yeon-myeong is happy that he took care of his father and old man starts crying as he was saved by a child who wouldn't see his father's face because of his fault. He talks to the dead Longrang and he would be proud to see his son if he was alive. Even though he is old he shall devote himself to serving the family head. Our perfect protagonist hands him his coat and tells him that he is here to arrange position for the leader and Ijin. Yeon-myeong tells him that it's time to head out as people are waiting to see him. Outside, that ugly frog is making even uglier faces as he can't believe that the old man is standing firmly, figuring out that this was done by the family head. Froggy thinks to himself that a direct confrontation would be bad as he slaughtered the elders without any hesitation. This dumb frog tries to threaten Yeon-myeong by telling him that they are the haul that earns all the money and without them the clan would collapse. Yeon-myeong thinks that he doesn't understand the situation he is currently in, and turns cold, telling him if that's enough for his last words. Our Chad asks old man if he has anything to say, but he ignores this frog, so it tries to hop out of this place. Thinking he will die if he stays here, that's when his body stops moving. He got struck by a poison needle which was made by Ijin, making her qualified enough to replace him as he takes back the needle. The frog falls to its demise. Seeing him dead, the irrelevant trashes run away and the Bangui brigade starts slaughtering them as Yeon-myeong ordered them to destroy them all. This is for part 3. No more new chapters are available. Please watch my other videos, they are also underrated and help me out a lot. Subscribe and wait for part 4 coming soon.